and welcome back to our channel. My name is Miriam and I am part of the team here at Canadian. Today I'm going to be answering some of the most frequently asked questions regarding Canadian citizenship by descent under the new 2026 rules. We'll cover topics such as eligibility, dual citizenship, residency requirements, taxes, and much more. So let's get started. Can I inherit Canadian citizenship from a grandparent? Yes, Bill C-3 expanded eligibility to include certain second-generation individuals born abroad, meaning that in some situations you may qualify for Canadian citizenship through your Canadian grandparent. However, it is important to understand that your eligibility depends on several factors, including when you were born, where your parents were born, and your family's citizenship history. Every case is unique, which is why it is very important to have your circumstances carefully assessed. Does Canada allow dual citizenship? Yes, Canada does recognize dual citizenship, meaning that you can be a Canadian citizen while also being a citizen of another country, given that that country's laws also allow it. This gives many people the opportunity to enjoy the benefits of being a Canadian citizen, such as obtaining a Canadian passport and living and working in Canada without having to give up their original nationality. Does the United States allow dual citizenship? Yes, the United States does not require their citizens to renounce their U.S. citizenship when they acquire another nationality. This means that many Americans who find themselves qualifying for citizenship by descent can legally hold both Canadian and American citizenship at the same time. Is there an age limit to apply for citizenship by descent? No, there is no age limit. Whether you're applying for yourself as an adult or applying on behalf of a child, you can apply for proof of citizenship at any age if you are eligible. Many people don't discover that they may qualify for Canadian citizenship until later in life, and that is perfectly okay. Can I claim citizenship through a step-parent? No. Canadian citizenship by descent requires a biological parent-child relationship or a legal adoptive relationship. Unfortunately, having a Canadian step-parent alone does not create eligibility for citizenship by descent, even if they helped raise you. Does the 1,095-day or 3-year physical presence rule apply to my parent or grandparent? This is one of the questions we receive most often. The 1,095-day rule refers to a requirement that someone must have been physically present in Canada for at least 1,095 days or 3 years during a specific period. So this rule only applies in certain situations. Specifically, if you were born on or after December 15th, 2025, and your Canadian parent was also born outside of Canada, your parents' time spent living in Canada can become an important factor in determining your eligibility. As you can tell, because these rules can be so technical, it is very important to review your family's circumstances prior to applying. Does my spouse automatically become a Canadian citizen if I do? No. Canadian citizenship by descent only applies to the individual who qualifies through their Canadian parent or grandparent. Now, if your spouse wants to immigrate to Canada, they would generally need to obtain status through another immigration pathway such as spousal sponsorship. Once you become a Canadian citizen, you may be eligible to sponsor your spouse for Canadian permanent residence if you meet the sponsorship requirements. Can I pass Canadian citizenship to my existing children? Possibly. If your children were born before December 15, 2025, they may automatically qualify depending on your own citizenship status and the circumstances of their birth. If, on the other hand, they do not qualify and they are your dependent children, you may instead be able to sponsor them for Canadian permanent residence, which could eventually lead to Canadian citizenship in the future. Will I have to pay Canadian taxes? Not necessarily. Whether you pay Canadian taxes depends on your tax residency, not necessarily your citizenship. For example, many Canadian citizens permanently live outside of Canada, thus they do not pay Canadian income tax. Generally speaking, you only pay Canadian taxes if you are considered a factual resident of Canada for tax purposes. A factual resident is someone who has established significant residential ties to Canada. This could include maintaining a home in Canada, having a spouse or dependents living in Canada, or spending substantial time living in the country. Canada's tax rules look at your overall connection to Canada rather than your citizenship alone. Again, if you're unsure of your tax obligations, it is always a good idea to consult a qualified tax professional. Can I apply for a Canadian passport immediately? No. Before applying for a Canadian passport, you must first receive your Canadian citizenship certificate. The citizenship certificate is official proof that you are a Canadian citizen. Once you have received the certificate, only then will you be able to apply for a Canadian passport. If you have other questions that I did not cover in this video, please go ahead and drop them in the comments below. While applying for Canadian citizenship by descent under the new 2026 rules may sound straightforward, the reality is often much more complicated. As I've mentioned, every family history is unique, and you may need to trace your family lineage through multiple generations, locate various documents proving your claims, such as historical birth, marriage, or citizenship records, and ensure that all these documents are completed in full and accurate. Even small mistakes such as incomplete applications, errors on your application, or missing records can result in lengthy processing times or even refusals. At Canadian, our immigration lawyers manage the entire process from start to finish and submit your application on your behalf. Our team can carefully assess your eligibility, review your supporting documentation, prepare a complete and strategic application, and help resolve any complications that may arise throughout the entire process. If you believe that you may qualify for Canadian citizenship by descent under Bill C-3, which is the new 2026 rules, then definitely contact us today by filling out the free confidential assessment form on our website, which I've also gone ahead and linked for you in the description box below for your convenience. Once we receive your submission, one of our immigration lawyers will review your case and contact you within the same business day. You can also contact us directly by calling us at 1-844-774-0700, or you can email us by emailing help@canadine.com. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you found this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn on our post notifications so that you do not miss the latest Canadian immigration news, updates, or helpful, insightful videos such as this one. And I'll see you in my next video.